So I want to end with this one because it was a day. Look, top 5, Oklahoma stared at defeat. They got out of it. Texas stared at defeat. They got out of it. Washington stared at defeat. They got out of it. Florida State got a tough game from Duke. They got out of it. North Carolina did not get out of it. And now the ACC's playoff hopes rest on Florida State. I was watching that game last night. We love Mac Brown. They've got a ton of talent. But I was watching the TV and I said, that's last year's North Carolina, where they're letting a team that's in a game that shouldn't be in their game. And last night they got.
I was on the air the other day with Jeff Saturday, and he said, hey, we were doing our top 4, man. He said, hey, what about North Carolina? And I said, what about North Carolina? I mean, I said, and they showed some clips from whatever year Jeff played, and they were 7-0. I said, what happened the next week? And he said, well, never mind. That is North Carolina. And sadly, it's really been the embodiment of Mac Brown at North Carolina. He's done a phenomenal job, but he just always has that game, and that's really too bad, because that program probably deserved better. But it's not like you can begrudge Tony Elliott's team. I thought that was the story of the day in many respects, Matt, as I know you probably pointed out many times. And ultimately, that league is struggling. And fortunately for North Carolina, they lost that game because we aren't focusing on what a blithering idiot Dabo Swinney is for saying what he did earlier in the week about, hey, maybe I need to lose a couple of games and my fan base will understand, what it's like. Well, he now has lost a couple of games. How about 3, Dabo?
3 for 3 consecutive years. It's not hyperbole, Paul, to say that thing, it's not done, but it's not going back to what it was.
No, it's I mean, in terms of I made some comment a couple of weeks ago about Dabo's dynasty is done. It was more for alliteration. His dynasty is over. It has been over for a while, and the concern now is, can he ever get it back to an elite level? And I think there has to be some doubts, and there are a lot of reasons for it, and most of them are when Dabo Swinney looks in the mirror at night.
His failure to adapt. And they had Miami on the ropes, on the road, Clemson, with a backup quarterback for Miami.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, now he's lost 2 overtime games. I'm sure he'll argue that when he speaks to the Greenville Touchdown Club Monday afternoon. We were this close, but it doesn't matter. It's over, and the rest of his schedule, I don't even care. I mean, I frankly, what do you care?
No. That thing's like, no. That's like moving on from Clemson as we are moving on. Hey, any thoughts on USC going down for a 4th straight time against Utah? Because in the offseason, I was told USC's got the most star power of any team in the country.
Well, they got the ESPN LeBron James treatment in the offseason. Those guys down the dial at ESPN. Caleb. All I heard in August was Caleb Williams, Matt. I know you did, because you're on SportsCenter every day. And I was concerned maybe about 4 weeks ago. I said here with you, they look like a fraud. I thought, did I just stick my foot in my mouth? No. What we've seen the last 2 weeks has been building. And to look at Lincoln Riley after the game, with that frat boy smirk. I mean, it's come on. I mean, your credibility has been shot too. I mean, you got a good program. You're a good coach. You're going to the Big Ten, and your problems remain the same.
Yeah, and when you go into the Big Ten, again, we had mentioned Oregon and Washington in the Pac-12, they're not going anywhere. They're coming with you. UCLA and Chip Kelly's a physical team. They're on the up. And then, oh, by the way, Ohio State and Michigan every year. It's a tall task for USC, who thought they were going to get back to the Pete Carroll days. And as we end our week 8 wrap-up, as we do here on the ESPN College Football YouTube channel, I was curious, Texas A&M got the win this week.
They did. Well, yeah, they're sitting there with 3 losses. They have road games at Ole Miss and LSU. They have South Carolina and somebody else within conference. I really believe in Mississippi State. That program right now, the standards have been lowered If Jimbo Fisher finishes 7-5, I think fans will say, yeah, but very close. I think it's the other two games. It's the other games he has to worry about. If he loses one of those, and by the way, I don't know how he could lose to South Carolina after what I saw yesterday from Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer might want to try breaking his other foot this week for good.
I mean, we love Beamer. And I'll tell you this, I said this on Sunday Bloody Sunday, Missouri's going to get someone. That is a good football team that's a shootout away from LSU from being undefeated.
Well, you're right. And they get scheduled here for a second. Tennessee has to go to Missouri. And we probably don't have enough time to just insert Josh Heupel's name this week for Dan Lanning and have a conversation about fourth down decisions.
Oh, I promised myself I'm not going to go in on analytics again, but I think analytics are the dumbest thing in the history of ever. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to go on a tangent. We've been on long enough.
Here's the thing. This goes for Heupel and for Gus Malzahn at the end of the Oklahoma game. If you're going for it on fourth down, and in Gus's case, he had to go for 2, come up with at least a legitimate play. I mean, don't go into the
double passes on the 5. Plays. Double passes on the 3-yard line aren't a good play call.
That could not have been high on the analytics list, Matt.
I don't know. Anyway, like this, we'll do a whole show on analytics because I want proof that the analytics aren't as good as the analytics say they are. Because every time I'm watching an analytics-driven decision, it doesn't work and the team ends up losing. But what do I know? Anyway, Paul, great stuff. Week 9 is upon us. The college football rankings 9 days away. I can't wait to scream at everyone for that. But until then, this is the ESPN College Football YouTube channel, The Matt Barrie Show, and our Week 8 recap. Give me something I can feel.